All right, we are here with Eustace native and current ETBU Tiger, Kane Nolen. Kane, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much.
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. Not quite as good as you're having. Not as quite as good as you're doing though. You just had a monster game over the weekend, 2 for 5 with a home run, 3 walks, 8 RBI, and 3 runs against Hardin Simmons. 3 bases loaded walks is crazy in the same game. But talk to me a little bit about that game. 8 RBI, is that the most that you've ever had in a game in all your years of playing? And how did it feel?
Uh, I don't really know if it's the most I've ever had, but um, and it felt awesome. I mean, just going up there looking to find my pitch and do damage with it, and with the bases loaded walks, I'm not looking for that one pitch. If it's not there, just spit on it, take it, move on with life, move on with the AB, and uh, I just kind of rolled that way.
Well, and that game was kind of a crazy game. 26-17, I believe, was the final. So a ton of offense in that game. When you're involved in a game like that, do you put pressure on yourself when you go up to the plate? Like, I have to do something here to keep up with the pace of the scoring, or what's your approach in a game like that?
No, sir. Kind of throughout the years and throughout college and all that, I've struggled with that in the past, and kind of learning from my mistakes is, just there is no pressure. You're up there looking for one pitch, and if you get it, great. If you don't, oh well, move on with it. Um, if you miss it, so what? Keep on. Just keep fighting through.
Well, you mentioned your college career here, and I know you're a junior at ETBU. Tell me about how you got to ETBU. What was before ETBU?
So I went through JUCO. I started out at Tyler Junior College and then transferred to Eastern Oklahoma State. And JUCO, I learned a lot. It's a grind. It's it's an insane grind. But you learn how to attack every single day and just go take what you want. Go work for it. The work ethic that you learn from JUCO it's unmatched.
Well, and you mentioned it too. Obviously, TJC has a really good baseball program. I'm not familiar with Northeastern Oklahoma, but I'm assuming they have a good baseball program too. But you mentioned the grind of JUCO and keeping up with it, like keeping up with these games. They're playing double headers left and right, and just a ton of games.
Yes,
So
sir.
you mentioned that grind. What specifically in your mind it makes that grind so difficult at the JUCO level? And we see these kids come from the JUCO level and really excel at the other levels. And do you think it's because of that grind at the JUCO?
Yes, sir. I think the main thing is everybody around you is wanting the same thing. You're all wanting to transfer to the next level and keep on playing, and no spot is guaranteed. Everybody's working for that starting spot. They want to get out there. They want to get seen. So that mindset of never be complacent, never be you know satisfied with where you're at. Always work to get better and never take a day for granted because that'll lose your spot in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's I can see how that would be tough. Everybody fighting for that same thing. But you made it out of JUCO and now you arrived in Marshall at ETBUs. But what made you choose ETBU out of all the schools you could have went to?
It just had a different feel to it. When I came up here on my visit, it felt like home. The coaches, Coach Hood, he had the same mindset that I do going at this game. It's a very aggressive, very, go take what you want kind of mindset. And
Well,
it just felt like home.
yeah, well, and you seem to be fitting in quite well there this season. 338 batting average, 8 home runs, 26 RBI, and 27 runs scored for a 22-10 ETBU team that's having a good year. What's been the key, do you think, this season? I know you mentioned your time in JUCO and how you've grown from there, but what do you think's been the key this season to having the year that you're having?
Biggest thing for me is just flush the mistakes. Don't let those carry on. Don't let them snowball. And just going up there, up to the plate, just looking for my pitch and hammer it. Not and again, not worrying about the mistakes. They happen and just move on.
And you're a catcher too, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's one position in baseball that I don't think I've ever played. I think it's the only position I never played because I too much stuff happening at catcher. But talk to me about that. Like how much workout do you have to do to get your legs strong enough to constantly be squatting up and down all game and then still have the power to come up there and drive in 8 runs? What's that workout regimen like for being a catcher?
It's a lot. Your legs are very, very tired by the end of the game. Um, it's just finding a way to win the AB, finding a way to get the job done, and whatever it takes. Throw your body on the line, and you can go to the training room, get recovery after the game.
You could deal with that. You could deal with the pains afterwards. You just got to get through
Yes,
the pain.
sir.
I got you. But like I mentioned, 22-10 for the Tigers this year. 6 game winning streak. You just swept Hardin Simmons, so you're 4-0 in conference play now. And then I was looking your next 2 series at home. You wrap up the regular season at home against Mary Hardin Baylor and Howard Payne. So talk to me about this year as the team. Your 22-10 record had a good season so far, and then you're closing out with 8 games at home. So what's it going to take for the Tigers to kind of gain some momentum going down this stretch into postseason play?
Yes, sir. I think we just got to stay on our roll. It's hitting is a contagious thing, and when you've got multiple guys in a lineup hitting 300, 350 plus, you kind of just roll with it. You don't try to do too much. You just find a way to put the barrel on the ball and put it on the next guy, and just
And
keep passing the stick.
like I like to say, and you can adopt this if you want, you put another quarter in the carousel, right? You just keep that
There you
thing,
go.
you keep that thing rolling around. Tell me about Eustace. So obviously you grew up in Eustace, you were homeschooled. Talk to me about that growing up in Eustace and how that made you who you are today.
Um, being homeschooled, it was different. The social life isn't always the same. Obviously I still had baseball. It wasn't like I was, not social, but it allowed me to put a lot more work into working out and baseball and all that. A lot of days I would be done with my schoolwork by lunchtime. So my entire afternoon was open and I could go to the gym, go to the cages, whatever I wanted to do in the afternoon. It was free and open.
Well, and I know when we post about how you're doing in college and stuff, we get some good traction there on social media with some people really supporting you. So what does that community support mean from you, from the people back home to be supporting your college career?
It means a lot to me, man. I think it means more to me than what they may realize. Just that constant support, that it's a long season, and that support will really push you through. Realizing that you like all the family, all the friends, all that back home, they're seeing it and they are able to keep track. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's neat to see, for all the stories, for to see the support from every community for all these athletes. So, and you're no different. You get the support too. So we love to see that. One last thing, and I'll let you get out of here. Who are some influences in not your personal life, but on the field, on the diamond? Who are some of the athletes that you look up to and that you try to model your game after, would you say?
I did lessons. His name is Adam Moore. I did lessons with him for many, many years, and I still text him to this day, call him anything. He's been the biggest mentor, biggest role model, all that for me. My like baseball career. That's my guy. I couldn't be more appreciative of him.
That's funny you say that. I know Adam and his family, and so yes, you are absolutely right. And that's ironic you say that name because I was just thinking about him the other day. So I need to reach out to him, tell him that I talked to someone he knows there. But Kane, man, I appreciate you jumping on today and talking to us. Best of luck throughout the rest of the year to you and the Tigers, and I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.